Hey, what's up, folks? Patrick Harrison here with Discraft Underground, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying this very first segment of what's going to be an awesome treat that you guys are going to go along with. So it's going to be our Spotlight series, and our first person that's going to be our Spotlight, this guy right here, Wes Shinevar. He is team captain of Discraft Underground, and we're going to ask him a few questions today. And we're going to find out along the way a little bit more about Wes, a little bit more about the Underground team, and hopefully a little bit more about what Discraft has in store for 2019. Wes? Glad to have you on here, man. How's things going?
Things are going great, Pat. Thanks for setting this up, for getting this rolling. Super excited about kicking this off, and I guess kind of being our first sort of interview here.
Yes, and what's going to be exciting about that is what you guys are going to get to see in the future is it's going to be Wes and myself going through and doing interviews with some of the top Discraft pros, even some of our amateur players from the Underground team that are making charges throughout the season and just doing great things in like their community and in their area. So let's get started with some questions here. So I guess the first question a lot of people are going to want to know, TSW, Team Stamp West. Where did that come from and how the heck did that get started?
Yeah, so I mean it's we'll try and keep it short. The short version of it is I started collecting Team Discraft stamps at some point down the road back a couple of years ago, and so there was 2 or 3 people I think that kind of came up with the Team Stamp West, and so I give credit to Tim Barham, Andrew Kaluk, and Zach Stufen. All 3 of them kind of around the same time seemed to come up with the Team Stamp West, and it all sort of stemmed from collecting those Team Discraft stamps.
So I think we just need to see like a battle between the 3 of them to see who came up with the name, because that's going to be something important in the future. When you make it big here, it's going to be important who came up with that name.
We'll let them battle it out.
On to the next one. Why did you start throwing discs, and how did you get into it?
Yeah, so my path to disc golf was kind of a longer path. You know, I started out actually as a soccer goalie, doing a lot of hand-eye stuff, and then I moved actually to Guts Frisbee, which is a game of throw and catch essentially, and kind of worked my way over to disc golf. And the reason
you were good at that Guts stuff, right? Like you were the man.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty good. Won a few tournaments with my team and stuff. I think I was probably runner-up for MVP at one tournament. Was really the best I ever played. Guts was a lot of fun, but it just wasn't very organized. And when I switched over to disc golf and got more into the tournament scene of disc golf, especially, I realized how much more organized it was. And tee times are tee times. If you're late, that's too bad. And so I really liked the organization of disc golf versus Guts, and that led to me playing a lot more disc golf.
Okay, and I mean, do you think maybe being able to do it by yourself kind of has something to do with it too? I know as you start to get older, your friend base starts to dwindle down. It's hard to get a group of people together for anything. So disc golf you can do on your own. So I like that. If you don't disc golf,
I think that's one of the big draws for disc golf too, is being able to just go out and play by yourself. I mean, anybody can play, any age. If you got a car and can get to the course, you can go play.
Or scooter or bike. For all you scooters and bikers, we're not forgetting about you. Trust me. We know that you work hard to get to the course, harder than I do.
That's true.
I wouldn't scoot my way there. So we know you're from the Michigan area. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about your area? Talk to us a little bit about the club that I'm sure you're a big part of. And let's talk about your local course as well. All into one lump sum. Yeah,
so local club is Capital City Renegades, based out of Lansing, Michigan. And local course is Birchfield, which we got to see a little bit of for the U.S. women's coverage this year. The short pins that were in for the one layout, that was the first time those have ever been in. But the 2 longer layouts that they played for U.S. women's are the layouts that we typically play over there. And it's a beautiful course. It's a pay-to-play course, but all the money goes back into the course and the course maintenance. And just a really great course to kind of learn on and to be able to grow on.
Okay. So now that we've learned a little bit about you, let's talk a little bit about the Underground. So it started its program this year, and they chose TSW to lead things. So can you tell us a little bit about how this started and why I'm here now talking to you on this interview?
Definitely. So, I've been a Discraft fan for a long time, and aside from just being a Michigan company, I really liked the family values that Discraft had. I'd met a couple of their players in around Michigan and Barham and Bino, and just everybody's so nice. And I really liked all the Discraft pros. I really liked what Discraft stood for. So for a long time, I was just a big Discraft fan, and really looking for a way to get more involved with Discraft. As an amateur player, I don't quite meet the typical criteria to make Team Discraft in 990 plus and out touring and stuff. But I had been a big fan and was doing a lot, and Bob actually gave me a call at some point and said, "Wes, we'd like to have you into the factory, and we'd like to sit down and talk with you about this idea that we had." And it was kind of there that the underground started. Bob mentioned they had been looking kind of for somebody to start something like this, and they hadn't really had that perfect candidate for the last year or 2 years that they'd been thinking about it, really until I came along. So was super pumped to have the opportunity to get more involved with this company that I was already a fan of and really enjoyed. And so far, the underground has been a lot of fun.
Was that the original team name that you guys had come up with, or was there something else in the works?
That's a really great question. We tossed around a lot of different names, and the underground was actually a filler name because we hadn't come up with anything that we really loved yet. And so it was kind of an underground sort of thing. And we wanted to make sure we started the team and got things kicked off. And so we were just going to kind of call it the underground to start. But the more we kind of talked about the name and molded over, the more we realized we really liked it.
My suggestion would have been the Battling Bees, but I know that wouldn't have gone very well.
No, that one might not have flied.
Oh, I see what you did there. So now you've talked to us a little bit about how the program was created. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about kind of the candidates it's designed for and what you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking for those Discraft diehards out there, and we've got a little over 50 people on the team now, 50 really great people, yourself included, Pat. And and so we're kind of upping the bar a little bit now and really looking at people that are doing a lot of social media content, specifically creating videos, throwing videos, disc discussions, but also on top of that, really great people that are doing great things in their area. Not necessarily your average player who just shows up to tournaments, but people who are helping run tournaments, people who are really active in their club, and people who are really active in their area as well.
Okay. So what kind of sponsorship are you offering these kind of players? So it's like, are you able to get into some of the details as to what's in it at all?
Yeah, I think people can definitely go watch some of the unboxing videos, and those will kind of give the full details of what the sponsorship package includes. But it does include discs and some swag and some discounts on some other stuff. And then there's going to be some bonuses throughout the year too. Hopefully we'll get some protos into the underground members' hands first to test out and review. And then hopefully we'll be able to do some fun stuff maybe at some of the other major amateur tournaments for players that are able to make those as well.
Okay. So what about all the people that are in the flocks that I see on Discraft all day that are wanting their way in? Any are you going to be adding people soon? Is there any suggestions, tips you can give these guys that are really wanting to get their foot in the door here and make an impression with Discraft and get onto that sponsorship and work their way up?
Yes to both. We're going to be adding a few more people here soon. Because things have been going so well, and like I mentioned, we've kind of upped the bar a little bit. I've got a lot of people that I am kind of keeping an eye on. People I've sort of given some more direction in terms of some of like the creating the video stuff that we talked about. Mm-hmm. And what I really like to remind people is that sponsorship is often a reward for hard work put in, not necessarily for the promise of hard work that you're going to do. So if you're sitting there at home thinking, why haven't they added me yet? Those are some of the things that you can look at and see if you're doing. And if you're not, you can start doing some of those things to give yourself a lot better chance to be on the underground.
Be on the underground.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're able to clarify some stuff about the team. You definitely gave people some direction as to what to do. So all you people that are wanting to get on the team, you know what to do now.
Yeah, and people can always...
Wes is looking. He is checking his list twice. He's finding out who's being naughty and who's being nice this off season.
All the above.
All of the above there. So as we do move into the off season, why don't you talk to us about like 2018? What's your favorite memory from what the last season was?
2018 was such a big season. I got to go to Ledgestone.
It was a whole year too.
It was, and it's still we
Wild.
still got a little ways to go. So much happened in 2018 disc golf wise, starting the underground, being added to Team Discraft as well, and I think probably my favorite memory was going to the player parties with the Team Discraft people are so cool because I got to meet a lot of pros there and at the tournaments that I'd never met before, and just kind of meeting some of those pros that I've been following for a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long, and getting a chance to talk face to face with them is such a cool experience. And at Great Lakes Open, I got to talk to Michael Johansson for a good 10 or 15 minutes about disc golf and some of his favorite memories and what he thinks was the best round ever played, whether it was the 18 down at Toboggan or Paul's memorial round. I mean, it was really cool to have some of those conversations with some of the people that I've really followed and looked up to for several years.
Okay, so would you consider like some of those players you look up to, like MJ and any other names you want to mention out there that really inspire you and have pushed you to be where you are today in that awesome Santa hat?
Being a Discraft fan, you got to mention Nate Doss. His game is just so sound, so consistent. He's always been a great putter. I've tried to kind of model my putting form a little bit after him because he's just a clean, efficient putter. So you got to mention him. And we got Tim Barham here in Michigan, is a fantastic pro that does a ton all over Michigan. Hasn't quite hit it big yet on tour, but has really made a name for himself around Michigan, and is a guy that I bump into a lot, and so I definitely look up to him as a player as well.
Okay, and you said he hasn't made it yet. So do you think he's one of the people to really watch out for in 2019? Is this going to be the year Tim makes his push?
Man, any tournament, I feel like Tim could make his push. He's a great player, and I think if he could put it together for the 3, the 4, the 5 rounds it takes at a major to really be up there, that he could definitely finish somewhere in that at least top 10 this year, if not a top 5 finish. But we've got a lot of exciting names that we have signed that have been announced already. I think we've got a couple more coming too. So 2019 for Team Discraft is going to be really, really exciting.
So what are some things we might see out of them in 2019? Are you able to splurge on any information without getting yourself on the naughty list, I would say?
Well, we obviously with the Paul announcement, that's pretty big news. That's very likely going to put us on the...
What announcement?
Yeah. You haven't heard Paul Macbeth joined Team Discraft?
Oh, I was more stoked about Andrew Presnell right now. I seen that one today, and that one got me hyped. I'll look into that. I'll look into that Paul one sometime. I'm sure it's talked about on Reddit or something.
Yeah, there's some videos out there I heard too. But Presnell is a fantastic addition to the team. I was really excited to see him get added. He had a really, really great breakout season as well, and he's another one of those guys where this year was really close. He got some great tour experience. He had 3 out of 4 great rounds at a lot of tournaments, and I think he's one of those guys where he just puts together that 4th good round, and we're going to see him probably in a couple top 10s as well.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see Paul. I'm excited to see a lot of other announcements. I'm sure there's some to come that you are trying your best to keep your lips sealed right now. Luckily, you are on my team, and I'm not going to be that hard interviewer that tries to trick you into giving up some information that maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So let's move a little bit away from disc golf now, and outside of disc golf, what are some things that that TSW likes to do here?
Sure. Well, I'm a part of a weekly bowling league. Actually bowled at Grand Valley State in college, and that's probably the one sport that I would say I'm actually good at. Disc golf is still a mediocre venture for me so far until I can put my putting game together. But
big learning curve in disc golf.
Yeah, and I'm getting there. But part of a weekly bowling league, and used to bowl pretty seriously in college. But after college, it's been a little bit more of a casual kind of thing. I bowl with my dad and some of my pals on Monday nights, and it's a lot of fun. I still really enjoy it. Still pretty good in terms of the bowling world and the league and stuff. But other than bowling, I enjoy running, trying to stay fit as much as you can, especially in the off season. But
Oh yeah.
more exciting to run in the summer when it's actually nice out.
My first A tier is in April, and usually I've promised myself I was going to go through my fieldwork routines and stuff by then. Usually I'm nowhere near shape come April for that tournament. First round on fire. The next day I'm so exhausted and so burnt out. I just almost want to go back to work.
Oh man,
as bad as that sounds.
We have our first big ones are usually in March. We have March Mush here in that Sleepy Hollow, which is just north of Lansing, and usually that's our first big one, kind of mid-March.
Yeah, if there's snow on the ground, if it's cold, usually I'm not on the course yet.
Oh, get out there, Pat. Get out there, Pat.
Nope. We're getting snow tonight, and my bag right there, I'm going to probably clean off, get it all nice and clean, maybe even wash my discs so they don't have to sit the whole winter in the mud. And next season, it's going to be a great time. Speaking of next season, what are your plans?
Yeah, so next season, this year I got to Ledgestone, was kind of my big tournament, but for next season...
I saw you there. I had the opportunity to meet you.
Yes, that worked out great. I'm sorry we couldn't get around in. It was such a busy,
You missed my ace at Northwoods. That would have been the most amazing thing ever.
I probably would have ruined it.
No, actually probably would have aced it first and took it from me.
Oh, man. 2019 plans, I'll actually be out at the Memorial. I got signed up for that. So I guess that'll actually be my first big tournament of 2019. And on top of that, I'm hoping to get to Bowling Green, the Bowling Green AMs. I haven't been down there before. And then I want to hit up AM Worlds next year as well. Okay. That one seems like a lot of fun. It's a full week of disc golf. It's definitely a grind and a gruel, and I'm really excited to.
I have been through my AM Worlds.
Yeah.
It is a grind and a gruel and a mental roller coaster and a physical roller coaster and an awesome time where you get to meet some of the most amazing people from across the country, and it's just a pretty insane experience that you don't get anywhere.
Yeah, I'm super excited for those three. I don't think I'll make it down to Ledgestone this year. We got Great Lakes Open at the Toboggan. That's just an hour from my house. I'm sure I'll be over there helping out, being involved as much as I can. And then right between Ledgestone and Great Lakes Open, I got to plug our local A tier, which is going to be the CCR Open. And we're looking to have a big added cash pot. We're looking to get $5,000 or more added cash. And it's going to be Saturday, Sunday tournament for the pros at Birchfield on the tougher layouts.
So add that to your schedule, all you pro players that like money.
Yeah.
If you don't like money, go somewhere else.
Especially, the touring players, it's going to be right on the way north from Ledgestone to Great Lakes Open. And, we're definitely expecting we're going to have a full pro pool. A pool is just going to be MPO, FPO. So we're expecting a really big MPO pool. We're going to be fundraising hard. I've actually already started fundraising for that. It's in, I forget what the dates are. June? I should know the dates, but right after Ledgestone.
Right after Ledgestone. Mark that on your calendar. You're leaving Ledgestone and you're heading up north, and you're going to win yourself some money.
Yeah. Come and get it. It's going to be a really good event. We one of the longest running A tiers in Michigan. We're going to have our full team out there, so it's going to be a really great, smooth event, and we're really excited about it.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. One thing I do want to say is, if you've made it this far in the video, I can tell you care about disc golf, you care about Wes, you care about me. This is our very first one of these. We put this together not in very little time. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of different quirks and issues, and maybe this is going to be a 17-minute video with no audio at all, and you just watch us lip-syncing everything. I don't know what's going to be expected here, but what I do know is that we're going to make this tailored around to what the community wants, so we need your feedback on what you'd like to see. If you don't like this visual layout, you tell me you don't like it, and we'll get something on there that the community wants to see and that you want to look at. If you don't like my face, I'll wear a bag next week. That's kind of what we'll leave it at. I want to know your guys' opinions and what you would like to see out of something like this. There's a lot of podcasts, a lot of interview stuff out there. We want to put out interviews every 2 weeks. We want quality interviews with people that you want to see and stuff that you want to know. So drop those comments below. Snag that subscribe button right up here if you can do that for me. He says subscribe. I think he's on mobile. His is down there.
Comments are down here.
Oh, comments are down there. Perfect. Thank you. So thank you guys for hanging out with us here at the Underground, and we'll see you guys for our next Underground Spotlight. Peace.